Hey guys, wanted to share another really exciting game with the Catacomb Crasher comp and demonstrate how this is still a really solid comp to play with Sneeds, even in a non-beast lobby. With Sneeds in the early game, your goal is to really just try to fit in your hero power as many times as you can while still aggressively leveling. One gold for a 2-2 or 3-3 minion is generally enough tempo for you to aggressively level without losing any of the early rounds. In my opinion, the best curve is a 2-cost spell on turn 1 and then hero power, buy and hero power turn 2, buy a 1-cost spell, level and hero power turn 3, and then on turn 4 you either double buy, or if you have a 1-cost spell you can freeze it, or if there's a 2-cost spell you buy a minion, play the spell and hero power, and that gives you a couple options on turn 5. If you froze a 1-cost spell, then you can just level, play the 1-cost spell and hero power, and if you took a 2-cost spell, then you either get to level and play the 2 costs, or you can just float a gold. This curve makes it so if you're really lucky, you can potentially never roll and hero power every turn while getting to tier 3 on turn 5, which is on par with everyone else. It's important that in this comp, you want to stack your hero power summons on the same minion, and it's not worth moving them even to a higher tier minion since the stats of summons are not what's really important with this comp in the late game. So, starting to think about some of the trinkets, I ended up taking the Deathly Phylactery, which is without a doubt the best hero power with this comp, or lesser trinket with this comp. It essentially gives you the effect of an early Titus, and because we've been putting all these summons on one minion, assuming we find a early Abomination or Catacomb Crasher, we are completely set to take over the game. Some other lesser trinkets you should be thinking about. Bobblehead's really good because there aren't really any key 1 or 2 drops that we need in this comp. Fish, just because it's fish, it can copy our really big death rattles. Goldenizer's okay. It does require you to have a little bit of tempo going into it because it puts off your tempo for a bit, but we end up playing a lot of 5-drop, and this is essentially a combo comp, so Goldenizer's good. In the same way, because Goldenizer good, Reflective Pendant's good, and if anything, it's better than the Goldenizer, and it just really helps you triple some of the key units. And then finally, Token of the Old Gods, because mainly we're looking for 2 really key 5-drops between the Titus Rivendell and the Catacomb Crusher. Moving into the mid game, you have really 2 options with Sneeds. You either play Catacomb Crasher and continue leveling, or you have to just go to 6 and then try to essentially scam your board. I would say if you don't find either Catacomb Crasher or Abomination by turn like 7, 8-ish, really it's a time to start going into scam. Luckily, I did find an early Catacomb Crasher, and for me, that obviously made this game really obvious what we needed to do. You can do a similar thing to what I end up doing in this game if you find an early Abomination, just because you'll get a ton of stats with the summons that we've been stacking. But really, you just want to make sure that you have some type of scaling before you start going up to 5. With Sneeds and just 1 scaling unit, you are truly enabled with this comp because it's so powerful at its scaling. And like I said, Deathly Phylactery is really the strongest lesser trinket you can have because it essentially gives you a early Titus type effect. Remember, Titus is a greater trinket, and you essentially get that effect for your lesser trinket. For greater trinkets with this comp, there's a lot of good options. However, we didn't get any of them, so we ended up settling with Bob's Tip Jar just to give us some extra rolls. But a couple other trinkets you should be thinking about with this comp. Glow Scale Portrait's really good just because you can put Divine Shield on some of your utility units, and then you eventually can sell your Glow Scale and play 1 whatever at the end. Rivendell Portrait, obviously, it's the same kind of idea as Deathly Phylactery. It's a exponential scaling for the comp. Chestnut's really good. In our current game, we could have copied the Sneed Death Rattle minion. You can also do something like copy a Golden Macaw if you're in a Beast lobby as well. Muggless Spire is just really strong as well. It gives you a ton of attack on your summons and just gives you essentially like 4 extra actual minions in your comp. Manipulator Portrait's not bad. Really what I like to do with this is try to find a golden like key unit and copy that. So for this comp, you would try to gold in your Abomination, gold in your Crasher, or gold in your Titus, and copy the first one of those. Devourer Sticker's not bad because you can put stats on a temp unit and then eat it and still get a lot of the stats saved that way. And then 2 other ones that I haven't tried, but at least in theory crafting they sound pretty good. Anvil lets you triple Titus stats, and in this comp, your Titus ends up getting a lot of stats. And then Reinforced Shield you end up having like two 100/100s get summoned from your Death Rattle, and getting two 100/100s with Divine Shield doesn't sound that bad. And really, if you don't hit them, honestly, this comp is really strong regardless of your greater trinket. If you're enabled, this is going to be a really strong comp. Some other strategies that you should think about that I haven't seen many players do, and I actually didn't really think about before, is trying to find ways to copy your Catacomb Crasher. Before, I was making a mistake of always putting Prosthetic Hand on like Cadaver Caretakers with this comp, because it was like one extra scaling, in my opinion, for your board. But something you can do that I really was kind of thinking about in this game is if you end up saving Grave Robbers and you Prosthetic Hand a Catacomb Crasher, you can use that to get an extra copy of the Catacomb Crasher. You will lose the stats on the Crasher, but really, like, it's trading off the temporary stats for exponential scaling, and that exponential scaling affects your entire board, so generally it's going to be worth doing this. You can do a similar thing if you have Reborn and Kel'Thuzad, and again, like, you're going to be buffing the Kel'Thuzad with this, so for losing a quote-unquote board space, you're still playing a solid minion in that spot that's going to be scaling. So, anyways, hopefully this kind of helps you. Hopefully you can kind of see how even in a non-beast lobby, really that opens up this board to just play more tech and utility units. I ended up playing a lot of Divine Shields and Bramble Witches in the mid-game until I was able to find all the key parts. And really, that's the same way you would play the beast comp, is you would play tech units until you find the Macaw, and then you start going that way. But hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight. Hopefully it shows you just how you don't even need to be in the best lobby for this comp to really pop off. As long as you have Undead in, Sneeds will be a threat in the lobby. So good luck on your guys' climbs. Good luck out there. Hopefully see you. Bye.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts. I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it. I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and